The Pentagon just revealed something that has defense analysts around the world questioning everything they thought they knew about the limits of aviation. While China celebrated their new sixth-generation prototypes and Russia boasted about hypersonic developments, America had already been flying something so advanced it makes those achievements look like steps backward. Secret test flights at speeds that rewrite the physics textbooks. A fighter jet that's been shattering every velocity barrier in complete darkness for nearly 6 years, and the Air Force kept it classified until the moment was right to change the global power balance forever. The F-41 didn't just arrive on the scene. It's been dominating airspace at velocities nobody thought possible, and it's been doing it longer than our adversaries ever suspected. What you're about to discover will fundamentally change your understanding of what American aerospace engineering can achieve. But before we reveal exactly how fast this revolutionary aircraft actually flies, you need to understand why this program was buried so deep that even senior defense officials barely knew the full scope. The answer connects directly to a threat emerging across multiple theaters, one that forced America to completely redefine what air superiority means in the modern era. Today's story isn't just about a new fighter jet breaking speed records. It's about a technological quantum leap so massive that our adversaries are still trying to comprehend what American engineers accomplished while they were focused on catching up to yesterday's technology. If you believe America should always lead in military innovation and air dominance, type proud in the comments below. The revelation that shocked the defense world happened without warning. After years of speculation about America's next-generation air superiority platform, the veil was finally lifted on a program that had been achieving the impossible in complete secrecy since 2019. The F-41 wasn't some future concept being debated in Pentagon conference rooms. It was real, it was flying, and it had been breaking every speed record that mattered while the world's attention was deliberately focused elsewhere. 6 years of classified test flights, 6 years of pushing experimental aircraft beyond limits that aerospace engineers believed were physically impossible to overcome. While defense contractors around the world struggled with basic sixth-generation concepts, American test pilots were already validating seventh-generation capabilities that exist nowhere else on Earth. The experimental demonstrators flew over 800 hours combined, not in computer simulations or wind tunnel facilities, but in actual flight conditions at speeds and altitudes that would make most fighter pilots question their instruments. These weren't early prototypes of the F-41. They were revolutionary experimental platforms designed to answer one absolutely critical question. Could America build a fighter that achieves Mach 3 speeds while maintaining complete stealth and combat effectiveness? Every previous attempt in aviation history hit the same insurmountable barrier. You want sustained Mach 3 performance? Your aircraft becomes a blazing infrared beacon visible to enemy sensors from hundreds of miles away. Want total stealth? Across all spectrums, you sacrifice speed, altitude, and maneuverability. The laws of physics seemed absolute and unbreakable, but something extraordinary changed during those secret flights over restricted airspace. In early 2020, DARPA quietly announced that their experimental demonstrators had achieved breakthrough results. They didn't specify which barriers had been broken. They didn't release any footage or technical data. They simply confirmed that American aerospace engineers had accomplished something that would be considered impossible by every other nation's standards. The F-22 Raptor, which held the title of America's ultimate air superiority fighter for 2 decades, maxes out around Mach 225. The F-35 Lightning reaches Mach 1.6. Both aircraft represent the absolute pinnacle of fifth-generation technology. Both are now being dramatically surpassed by capabilities they were never designed to match. The F-41 specification sheet reads like something pulled from a science fiction novel. Sustained cruise speed of Mach 2.8, maximum velocity exceeding Mach 3.2 in certain flight profiles. But here's what makes it genuinely revolutionary. Maintaining those extreme speeds without compromising stealth, without requiring constant afterburner, and without sacrificing combat radius or weapons payload. Traditional fighters face brutal physics at supersonic speeds. The aerodynamic friction generates massive thermal signatures that light up infrared sensors like flares in the night sky, speed or stealth. For 80 years of aviation history, you had to pick one. The F-41 picked both, and the breakthrough technology that made it possible required completely rewriting rewriting our understanding of material science. The Air Force gave the F-41 a designation that should make every potential adversary deeply concerned. Stealth Triple Plus. Not the Stealth Plus of the F-22, not even the Stealth Double Plus capabilities discussed for 6th-generation platforms. Triple Plus represents a category of radar invisibility that simply didn't exist until American researchers achieved what was thought impossible. Before we continue, please take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing, and your subscription helps us bring you more content like this. Researchers at classified facilities developed revolutionary metamaterial coatings that fundamentally changed the entire stealth equation. Previous radar-absorbent materials were essentially sophisticated polymers that had critical limitations. Weather degrades them, sand damages them, most critically, extreme temperatures from high-speed flight destroy their effectiveness completely. The breakthrough came through metamaterial structures engineered at the molecular level. These aren't coatings applied to the aircraft, they're integral to the airframe structure itself. These metamaterials absorb over 95% of incoming radar energy across multiple frequency bands. They're harder than titanium. They're completely impervious to weather, and most critically, they maintain full effectiveness at the extreme temperatures generated by sustained Mach 3 flight. Think about what that enables. A fighter that can accelerate to speeds approaching 2,300 miles per hour, sustain that velocity for extended periods, and remain virtually invisible to every radar system currently deployed by any military on Earth. By the time hostile air defenses detect even a potential contact, the F-41 has already penetrated their coverage area, engaged multiple targets, and departed the battle space. But achieving unprecedented speed and stealth simultaneously still doesn't win wars by itself. The F-41's combat radius exceeds 1,400 nautical miles, roughly 1,600 standard miles of operational reach, without any aerial refueling support. Compare that to the F-22's approximately 590-mile combat radius. We're discussing more than double the penetration depth into contested territory. For operations across the Pacific Theater, those range numbers represent an absolute game-changer. China has invested hundreds of billions constructing massive anti-access, area denial networks throughout the South China Sea. Layer upon layer of surface-to-air missile batteries, integrated radar installations, advanced fighter bases, all specifically designed to keep American aircraft far from Chinese territory. The F-41 can launch from secure bases in Guam or Okinawa, penetrate through these defensive networks, establish air superiority over any contested zone including the Taiwan Strait, complete strike missions against heavily defended targets, and return to base without requiring vulnerable tanker support. That's a complete transformation of what's strategically possible in the Pacific. The Air Force has committed to acquiring 220 F-41s over the next 15 years. But each individual F-41 brings combat capabilities that would previously require multiple F-22s working in coordination to achieve. The extended range means fewer vulnerable tanker aircraft needed. The revolutionary stealth means dramatically higher survival rates. The advanced sensor fusion means unprecedented situational awareness. Speed in modern aerial warfare isn't simply about going fast, it's about energy management, positional advantage, and weapons performance. When an F-41 enters contested airspace already traveling at Mach 2.8, it carries enormous kinetic energy that translates directly into devastating weapons effectiveness. An air-to-air missile launched from a fighter platform already traveling at nearly 3 times the speed of sound starts with a massive velocity advantage. That missile's effective range extends by 40% or more. The target aircraft has proportionally less reaction time to respond. But there's another critical advantage: escape capability. A fighter capable of sustained Mach 2.8 cruise can simply outrun virtually any threat in existence. Enemy fighters cannot catch it. The vast majority of surface-to-air missiles cannot intercept it. Speed becomes the ultimate defensive capability. The F-41 also features sustained supercruise capability, the ability to maintain supersonic flight without using afterburners. Afterburners consume fuel at catastrophic rates and create enormous infrared signatures. True supercruise means the F-41 can maintain Mach 2.8 throughout the majority of its operational mission while conserving fuel and remaining thermally stealthy. Consider a typical deep strike mission profile. The F-41 takes off from a secure base, accelerates to supersonic cruise speed, penetrates 200 miles into hostile territory, engages multiple priority targets, and returns to base, all while maintaining supersonic velocity and complete stealth throughout the entire sortie. The enemy never achieves a stable radar lock. Their interceptors cannot close to engagement range. Their missiles cannot achieve firing solutions. This isn't theoretical speculation. Those experimental demonstrators that flew for 6 years proved these exact capabilities under real flight conditions. Boeing's leadership described the transition from experimental demonstrator to production aircraft as remarkably smooth, specifically because the fundamental design was already mature and operationally validated. But the F-41 doesn't operate alone, and this is where the program reveals truly revolutionary capabilities. What makes this fighter the ultimate force multiplier is how it coordinates with collaborative combat aircraft, autonomous loyal wingman drones that accompany the manned fighter into the most dangerous environments. The Air Force is developing multiple advanced drone variants specifically optimized to operate alongside the F-41. These aren't simple, remotely piloted aircraft. They're sophisticated autonomous combat platforms with their own advanced sensors, electronic warfare systems, weapons capability, and artificial intelligence decision-making. The F-41 pilot commands these loyal wingman drones like a quarterback directs offensive plays. Imagine a strike package, one manned F-41 accompanied by 6 autonomous combat drones. The drones spread across hundreds of square miles, creating an integrated sensor network. They detect threats and broadcast warnings. They jam enemy radar systems. They draw hostile fire away from the manned aircraft. If enemy missiles get launched, the drones can intercept them or deliberately absorb hits. This approach solves multiple critical problems simultaneously. It multiplies combat power without requiring additional pilots. It allows sophisticated risk management, sending expendable platforms into dangerous areas while the manned fighter operates from positions of advantage. It overwhelms enemy defenses through sheer numbers and coordination. The Air Force envisions acquiring over 2,300 collaborative combat aircraft to support the 220 F-41s, roughly 6 autonomous drones for every manned fighter. Each F-41 becomes the command nucleus of a powerful combat formation capable of missions that would previously require multiple squadrons of conventional aircraft. And here's what should concern every potential adversary. This entire integrated system is already being tested. The technology isn't conceptual, it's flying right now. The integration work, the AI development, the tactics refinement, all of it is happening in classified programs years ahead of anything publicly acknowledged. So did the F-41 actually break speed records that no other fighter has touched? The answer requires understanding what records actually mean in classified military aviation. Public speed records like the SR-71 Blackbird's Mach 3.3 came from aircraft designed purely for velocity with no combat capability. The F-41's achievement operates in an entirely different category, highest sustained cruise speed for a combat-capable stealth aircraft. It's the combination of capabilities that matters. Those experimental demonstrators validated the specific technologies that enable this unprecedented combination. Advanced propulsion systems producing 45,000 pounds of thrust. Novel aerodynamic designs that maintain stealth while minimizing drag. Thermal management systems that dissipate enormous heat without creating detectable infrared signatures. The strategic implications ripple across global military power dynamics. China revealed their 6th-generation fighter concepts in late 2024. Russia continues claiming they're developing comparable capabilities, but America flew operational 7th-generation demonstrators while competitors were still working on basic 6th-generation design concepts. That head start represents an advantage measured in decades, not years. Air superiority determines outcomes in every modern conflict. If you control the airspace, you can operate ground forces safely, conduct precision strikes, and project power across theaters. If you lose air superiority, everything becomes exponentially more difficult. The F-41 ensures America maintains absolute air dominance for the next 30 years minimum. The first production F-41 is already being manufactured at Boeing's facility in St. Louis. First flight is scheduled for late 2027. Initial operational capability is expected by 2029. Those timelines are remarkably aggressive. The F-35 took over 14 years from first flight to achieve full operational capability. The F-41 might accomplish it in under 2 years because the technology has already been thoroughly validated. Boeing invested over $4 billion in specialized manufacturing facilities before even winning the contract. They built production lines specifically designed for classified aircraft programs. When the contract award came through, they were ready to begin production immediately. That's unprecedented confidence in both the technology and the urgent military requirement. The F-41 represents far more than just another fighter jet. It's a definitive statement about American technological leadership and our commitment to maintaining military superiority. The F-41 wasn't designed for aggression. It was designed to make aggression against American interests impossibly costly for any potential adversary. Every pilot who climbs into an F-41 cockpit knows their aircraft can outperform anything else flying anywhere in the world. They know the technology supporting them represents the absolute best that engineering can produce. That confidence matters profoundly in combat. The men and women who designed this aircraft, who built the experimental demonstrators, who flew hundreds of hours of classified test sorties, they did all of it in complete secrecy. No public recognition, no media attention, just quiet, dedicated professionalism focused on ensuring America maintains its edge in an increasingly dangerous world. The Air Force Chief of Staff stated that the F-41 would be the most advanced, most capable, and most lethal aircraft ever built by any nation in history. Not one of the most advanced. The most, period. That's not empty rhetoric. That's a factual assessment based on classified performance data. The F-41 didn't just break speed records. It shattered the assumption that America's technological edge was narrowing. It proved that when properly funded and managed, American innovation remains absolutely unmatched. Those secret flights over the past 6 years weren't just testing aircraft performance. They were proving that America can still build weapon systems so advanced that our competitors don't even understand what they're facing. The F-41 flies faster than any combat aircraft before it. It incorporates stealth technology that makes detection nearly impossible. It operates across ranges that transform strategic possibilities. And it's real. It's being built right now. By 2029, it will be operational, giving the United States air superiority capabilities that extend our advantage for decades. That's not just encouraging news for military enthusiasts. That's vital information for everyone who values freedom, security, and the stability that American military strength provides. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and stay proud of what American innovation continues to achieve.